fam, this is Big Tone coming at you from Big Tone Productions Beats and Feast. Hey guys, it's Friday, so we're gonna do some salmon patties or some salmon cakes. Don't get it confused with salmon croquettes. Very simple, easy meal. Hey guys, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and let's get started with some salmon patties. For the salmon patties, these are the ingredients you're gonna need. You're gonna need. It calls for Dijon mustard, but I didn't have any, so I'm using regular mustard. Some minced garlic. I got my breadcrumbs in there. Some mayonnaise. I use Miracle Whip. Some Cajun seasoning. I got my Old Bay seafood seasoning. I love that stuff for seafood. You got some capers in there, black pepper, just regular salt. I use the pink Himalayan sea salt. And then we have our Holy Trinity. We have some celery cut up, some one red pepper and one onion, and about 3 stalks of celery there. So there's the supporting cast. With this particular meal, I need to brown my vegetables or sear off my vegetables here. So the Holy Trinity I'm going to add into the pot here, or into the pan. So I got my celery going in. My red pepper. And my onions. So we're going to cook those down until they become nice and soft, and then we'll add those to the salmon. With this salmon, we're going to take it off of the skin. The skin is like leather, so you'll know. So if you guys aren't familiar with doing so, it's very simple. This is a large piece, so I'm going to use this in 2 applications. I've got all the pin bones have already been taken out, so I'm going to cut this. I'm going to use probably about 3/4 of it, probably about this much of it, for the salmon patties. So basically, you're just going to cut down through the salmon until you reach that leather, which is the skin, and you're going to flip your knife, and you're just going to go along the skin here. All right, you see that? See how that? Now, don't worry about if you leave some meat on the skin, especially if this is your first time. And I'm lifting it up and I'm pulling it right along the skin. All right, guys, so we're gonna continue taking this off. Let me pull my salmon back a little bit so it's bigger than my cutting board. There we go. And I'm gonna continue going along the skin. Simple as that. And don't worry if you leave some skin there or some meat there. Nice piece of salmon there. If you leave some there, you can always trim it off. But as simple as that. So I'm going to use this for my salmon croquettes. The rest of them I'm going to put back in the freezer. All right, guys. So now I got my salmon here. So traditionally, you know, most of us eat salmon patties or salmon croquettes. There is a difference. So salmon patties are just small round discs, of kind of like a crab cake. But salmon croquettes are shaped like a mini football. But we're making salmon patties today. And so normally we would eat that, you know, get the salmon out of the can, but today we're using fresh salmon, so I'm gonna have to cube this up myself. So I'm gonna take it and slice it, about 1/4 inch slices. All right, then I'm just gonna simply turn my whole cutting board. Usually I just turn the salmon, but we're filming, and we're gonna make it into cubes here. All right, guys, the next step is the fun step. You can even get your kids to help you with it if you want to. Sometimes I use a cleaver, but this time I'm not. We're just gonna take it and dice it up. Take your time with it. You don't have to rush this. And you don't want to make it too small, because you want to taste your salmon. And like I said, if you got a meat cleaver, you can chop it up with that. But that's all we need to do to make our salmon patties here. Just make it small enough so you can taste it. Not too small and not too big. So I got my salmon here and I got my Holy Trinity on the stove, and it's cooling down a little bit here because it's already done. So I got my salmon here. I'm gonna put some of my seasonings and stuff in the salmon here. So we're gonna start with just some regular, my pink Himalayan sea salt. It's about a teaspoon or maybe a little bit more. Then we got our black pepper. You know me and black pepper. It's probably about a teaspoon of this as well. Season to taste on this one, guys. Then we have my Old Bay. If you guys aren't hip to Old Bay, this is really a seafood seasoning. It's really, really good on seafood. But you can use it on everything. It's about a teaspoon and a half. All right, next thing we got is some of my Cajun seasoning. Louisiana Cajun seasoning. If you got any kind of Cajun seasoning, of course it will work. All right, guys, and now, like I told you earlier, it calls for Dijon mustard, but I didn't have any, so I'm just using regular mustard. Just a little bit of that in there. All right, and the next thing we're gonna add is some garlic. I'm gonna put a nice tablespoon of garlic in here. Now, I'm purposely not roasting the garlic or frying the garlic off, so don't fry the garlic off on this. Normally, I would do that. All right, guys. The next thing we're gonna add is our breadcrumbs. Now, we're supposed to use panko. I just have just a regular plain breadcrumbs. We're gonna add a little bit of that here. This is probably about, I would say about a half a cup. And a little bit more than that, 3/4 of a cup, let's say that. And then the last thing we're gonna add a nice dollop of mayonnaise. And we're gonna add that once you see how much it's gonna make. And this isn't the last thing, I lied, guys. This is not the last thing. I'm gonna put 2 dollops in here. We got a lot of salmon this time. We're kind of hungry. We started this cleanse. All right, so we're gonna set this aside because we may need that for some more moisture. The next thing we're gonna add is some capers. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I did not know anything about capers. But you'll see them here in just a second. I'm sorry, my hand's in the way. It's gonna be about a teaspoon and a half of capers. They add a nice briny flavor to it. So if you got some capers, go ahead and add it. The next thing we're gonna add is my Holy Trinity. I'm hoping that it's cool. So now I'm adding my Holy Trinity. It's cooked down quite a bit. Let's return this back to the stove. So we got everything in there. I may add 1 egg, but first we're gonna stir this up and see what it looks like. Okay, now to form the salmon patties. So I'm gonna take a little bit in my hand, and you're basically gonna form them like you would a hamburger. So I got a whole bunch more to go, guys. It's very simple, and I'll show you when I get them done, and then I'll put them in the frying pan. Guys, so there's the salmon patties there. I got some made up. I still got some left in the bowl, and I'm gonna make those up as well, but we're gonna put these on the stove. Oil is good and hot. Hear them frying as I put them in. Now, if you grew up like me, my mom used to make salmon croquettes. Like I said earlier, salmon croquettes are different. They're shaped like a football. And they use cornmeal. And they also use quite a bit more oil to fry it in. They're almost deep fried. There's the last one. Cooking the salmon patties, just so you know, a little trick for a sauce. I got some garlic aioli from the store. I added a little bit of sriracha to it to give it a little kick, because otherwise it's kind of bland. But that's a great sauce. Mix it up, and you can see how it comes out. It's wonderful. All right, guys, so there you go. Finished product on the plate. Quick, easy meal, guys. Another perfection on the plate, guys. Salmon patties. Hey, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Hey, guys, this is Big Tone signing off. Peace.